If you had the option to triple the revenue in your business, I'm going to take a guess that you probably would do it. Now, it sounds really exciting, but how do you actually grow your business that substantially? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about a guy who managed to triple the revenue in his striping business in 2025 and how you can copy him and do the same things in 2026. What's happening? Full legal disclaimer. I don't know if you can actually triple your revenue. It's going to be results vary. Okay, it's just going to be dependent on the work you put in. Please don't sue us saying like, "Oh, Cam and Matt said that you could triple your revenue." Don't do that. Matt will help you too. All right, this video is brought to you by our friends at OneCrew. Actually, getOneCrew.com/stripe it. They still are giving you $500 off if you join through that link. So love those guys at OneCrew. Okay, so would you like to triple your striping revenue or your seal coating revenue or your asphalt revenue? That sounds like it might be a pretty audacious thing, but you may have seen the interview that we did last month with Chase from Supreme Striping. Now, Chase is my boy. I've worked with him for over a year. Super smart guy, unbelievable, great guy to work with. Now, I'm going to share with you some of the things that really worked well for him to be able to grow his business 3x in 2025. And these are the kind of things that will really help a business owner who's at like that 6-figure revenue mark. You know, maybe you're like 100K, 200K, whatever, and you're looking to grow next year. These are the kinds of strategies that will really, really help you. All right. So number one, big thing with Chase, he changed his mindset from the hustler, like the guy who is doing things, to an actual business owner. Okay. So interesting story with him. And he talks about this, in the interview, was when he grew his company pretty aggressively in like 2023 or 24. So basically he grew his company to multiple 6 figures of revenue. So like it got up there and he had like 4 or 5 employees going. The only problem was it was absolute chaos. And it was so stressful because everything was flowing through Chase and, some employees were doing well, some weren't, there was no real systems and processes to support it. So he basically said, you know what? I'm stripping this whole thing down back to just me and my helper, like literally just one part-time employee essentially. And he hit the reset button on the entire company. And then he started to build it up slowly. And he says in the interview, he's like, oh man, I wanted to do it right. And so for him, right meant not just aggressively growing revenue for the sake of growing revenue, but changing his mindset from the guy who could just hustle his way to multiple 6 figures of revenue to a guy that actually built a business system. So now, how do you just like change your mindset about that and stop being the guy who does it all to being a business owner? That's a huge change. And honestly, like you're going to need some sort of training or exposure, or you're going to have to read a lot of books. You're going to have to do something to kind of alter the way you think about it. But that's what Chase did. And that helped him tremendously. He didn't just grow the company anymore. Now he was actually operating a business, and now he's got great results in 2025 to show for it. All right. Number 2, Chase was like a perfect example of someone who took massive action to try things, but also had the ability to pivot if they weren't working out. Okay. So like over the last year, Chase has mentioned that he's made hiring decisions that some have worked out great. He also hired people where some of them like simply didn't work out that great. One of the things that I really admire about Chase is that he doesn't get stuck in the decisions he's made. He realizes really quickly, like, if this is a great decision, let's lean into it. If I didn't, it's okay. Like, let's just pivot, do something different. And I think a lot of business owners who would love to grow their revenue will not do so, at least not to like a triple next year, because they're very slow to make decisions. And I think if you want to grow your company quickly and really attack your revenue opportunities, which is pretty doable if you're a smaller asphalt company, you want to take action on things quickly. So other things that he did besides hiring, he took action on his pricing. He found opportunities to increase his pricing, looked at his model, looked at his win rate, and was like, you know what, we need to up the prices here. And that helped him tremendously, not just in revenue, profit as well. Number 2, he was also quick to take action on hiring a salesperson. It's a big moment in a company when you hire someone to help you with sales. But that was a big decision that helped him to grow his business quickly. And then he also took action on hiring someone in the office to support him with administrative work. Now, all these types of decisions that he made, he basically made within like less than 12 months. So he went from like that, stripped it down, just me and a helper, to like making these strategic decisions and doing so quickly. Not all of them worked out, but the ones that didn't, he threw them to the side, changed it, pivoted, and got the company back on track. All right, third thing he did really well and that you can copy from him in order to, potentially, don't sue us, triple your revenue next year. He was excellent at driving accountability in the team that he had. Excellent job. So what he's really good at by nature is setting really clear expectations for like, this is how we do things at our company. And he also was good at enforcing the standard. So some business owners, depending on who you are, your personality, they might be a little bit more lax with that sort of thing. They might not enforce the standard. They might not have a culture of accountability. But Chase is an excellent example of someone who kind of steers a pretty tight ship, but at the same time, he balanced that by being a great human being as an employer. Like Chase is the kind of guy that will go above and beyond. He will, help his employees through personal stuff. So he balances like, while you're at work, we work and we do things efficiently, but I'll also be there to support you as a human being. And if you can take that approach and just like, drive the accountability, but also be a good human, you'll probably have good success. Number 4. I think this is probably one of the biggest and most important ones. If you're trying to grow revenue, this is probably the biggest thing that you could copy from what he did this year. He made his business supply constrained and not demand constrained. So basically what that means is like when the company started to grow revenue again, and he was selling more and now producing more jobs, instead of just like stopping selling because he had all this work to do, he continued to put his foot on the pedal. So he did that by hiring people to support him in the field, hiring people to support him in the sales department. So what a lot of companies do is when they start to sell and they get busy, they take their foot off the gas and then they stop selling work. And then they're caught in that vicious cycle of, hey, we got lots of work and now it comes time to fulfill. And we're like, oh no, now we got no work. He stayed really, really consistent. He made sure that the work schedule was always full. And that's a great business to have, is when your business is supply constrained. So basically, a lot of businesses, especially in striping and seal coating, if they're like on the smaller side, maybe you're at like 100K revenue, 150, 200, something like that. A lot of them are demand constrained, which basically means like the biggest constraint to growing that size of business is like getting more customers and increasing the demand. That wasn't an issue for Chase. He made sure that that demand was always there. He was consistent in his sales process, and that allowed him to be supply constrained. So a good business was always trying to find the balance between those two. But if your business is constrained by the amount that you can produce in the field, that's a pretty good problem to have, because then it means that you have consistent demand, and now you can solve that through good processes and hiring. And last but not least, super quick, something that he did that will probably help you. And this isn't just like a shameless plug for you to contact me, but Chase was good about getting outside help to help him. Like, I've worked with him for over a year, and I have found in my experience that when you can work with someone who's done the thing that you're trying to do, it just takes the plan and just makes it go way quicker. So he's one of my favorite dudes. I've enjoyed working with him. We're still working together, him and I, and that's been a huge part for him to be able to lean on someone who had done the thing that he's trying to do. So there it is. If you want to grow your business next year, triple it. Matt personally guarantees that you can do. No, he doesn't. Unfortunately, we just can't, right? It comes down to your effort and what you're willing to do and the investments you make to grow the business through employees and strategy and consulting and all that sort of things. But those 5 things that I mentioned here were the biggest things that allowed him to triple his revenue in 2025. And I strongly believe that if you copy some of those same strategies, you can do the same thing, have good results, grow your company in 2026.